Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Wisdom Seeker Joan. I did it again, and I am delighted to introduce JunoSphere. Juno, how are you today? Thank you for being here.
I'm doing great. My favorite time of year with Halloween coming up, imminent on our doorstep and all this exciting stuff. And I've been doing a deep dive. I've been doing a Halloween short video every day. So if anybody wants to look for something that's just kind of fun and takes your mind off things and you learn something and you hear some nice music, please check it out. I'd appreciate that.
That sounds great. Well, hello, Alex and Butterfly Kisses Healing and Karen Doyle. Thank you so much for coming. We just are thrilled to be here, and we'll be taking questions, but I think we're going to wait a while so that if you want to put some questions in, Alex, we've got yours. There's Carolyn and Joyful Journey. We're thrilled to have you here. Yeah, and now your skeleton gloves look very much in season.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm right in my time of year,
Yeah.
But yeah, keep your hands
So
warm.
what's Halloween like in your area?
Well, I don't go out much around this because I don't know the area, but what the big
Mhm.
thing here that's unique, and it's not right on Halloween, but it's right after because of the Hispanic culture, we have
Right,
Dia de los Muertos. And they have a
right.
big parade in Tucson where people get all dressed up and, do all the face painting and everything. And I sure wish I had gone before all this stuff had, like 6 or 7 years
Yeah.
ago, let's say, and joined it because I just love it's so colorful and it's such a celebration. And so that it's inspiring, and I think that the festivities just make it, they're uplifting, and it's so I don't know, I don't think that many people, of course I live at a senior mobile home park, so there aren't trick-or-treaters here,
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah.
Well, I was telling Juno before, I haven't been home on Halloween for probably 5 or 6 years because my husband and I, and last year I went alone. We're usually down in Mexico for that time. But I'm really excited about it because in our neighborhood, there are so many kids. We would usually get 250, 300 kids, trick-or-treaters on Halloween before running out of candy. And other people who bought more candies. One neighbor said she had 500 last year or a couple of years ago.
Ooh, that's
So,
just unimaginable.
but it's so fun. It's so fun because it's all about the kids and all about the candy and everybody's just out there having a good time, and it's really pretty fun. So I'm kind of looking forward to that this year. So anyhow, and I'm trying to balance, not buying the candy too soon because we all know what can
Yeah,
happen
right.
when that happens. Oh, and T Barb is saying, love your shorts, Juno. You pick
Oh,
all the best graphics.
thanks,
Tell us
T-Bar.
about the shorts that you're doing.
Well, I started doing some in August, in September. Maybe in September I started putting. Well, once I got my new computer, now I have the capability to use these different graphics programs. So the shorts are a great way for me to learn these different techniques and things, because when I create my class materials for the classes and other things that I want to do, now I'm going to know how to do them. And every video I kind of added, I've learned something new every time. So it's a wonderful way because you have to say what you want to say within 58 seconds. That's all you have. And so it's very good about editing and focusing instead of, blah, blah, blah. Like I can, I can be a yada, yada and get into going down a rabbit hole. And this way it forces me to make my point. And I use like the fonts that I choose or the music or whatever is all geared towards bringing the message across. And so I appreciate the people that are watching them. I think they're a lot of fun. And so they're going to go on. I'm doing every day in October for Halloween, but I won't be keeping up that pace all year round. But some of them take 8 hours to put
Oh my
together. I would
gosh,
say the
I
minimum
believe
is
it.
maybe 4 or 5 hours for 58 seconds.
Thank you, Viviani, for asking people to like, share, and subscribe. And Karen Doyle and Joyful Journey and everybody's here. If you have questions, I've got, let's see, Alex's and Joyful Journeys. But we'll just maybe wait a little bit until
Sure.
couple more people put questions in. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And you are going to be almost in the path of the annular eclipse, right?
Yeah, I looked at the map and it's about 80% here. So, and then that's the day, and I think you're in the class too. We're taking that Akashic reading class. So I think that's going to be quite a powerful
Oh, yeah, that's right.
experience on the same day as the eclipse. And there's several of us that are, you know, in the YouTube community that are going to be taking that on the same day. So I'm preparing for liftoff. I don't know about you.
Yes. And I'm hoping I wasn't able to, had hoped to be down in your area this time of the year to see the annular eclipse, but then next spring, come hell or high water, I'm going to find a way to be in the path of the full solar eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I went on a trip and saw it in, totality in 2017, and that was pretty cool. That was, we got in the car after it was gone, and I said, "See you in 2024 or
Yeah.
2025," and now I'm going to make good on that.
Where did you go to
So,
see it?
in 2017, it was in somewhere in Idaho, out in the
Okay,
wild.
that's what I thought. The Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun.
Very
But yeah,
It's
in
fun. It's
fact,
so amazing now with YouTube and the internet that we can, if you can't be there, there's so many people streaming it. And, it's nice to be able to at least witness it that way. It's,
exactly.
it's not as good as being there, but it's still nice.
Well,
And I think it's in the morning here. Isn't it like at 9:20 Pacific, something like that? Or is that
like
the
that.
Eastern time? I'm not sure.
I saved my eclipse glasses from last time, so.
Oh, did you? I don't have any. Yeah, I'm not going to try to look at it. I'll watch it on, I have enough eye issues. I'm not going to aggravate them.
That's true. Okay, well, let's see. We have Alex, Joyful Journey, Morella, and Karen Doyle. So let's get started, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Alex says, are any messages for me from the universe?
And I've got a deck that I'm using called the Halloween Oracle since it's Halloween. So I hope that's okay with everybody.
Why don't you feel free to go first? It takes a while to tune in this first one.
Yeah. I'm still shuffling. I'm just learning this deck, so. You want me to go?
Sure.
So the card I pulled for you, Alex, is called Barmbrak. Barmbrak. Let me see if I can hold that up there. And it says sweetness and synergy. So that's like a nice yummy loaf of some kind of bread there. And I think the sweetness and synergy, like that's all the things when you mix a loaf of bread like that, you're putting all that. I like to make banana bread. It kind of makes me think of that. And you're mixing all those good things up. And it says it's not quite a cake and not quite a bread, but it's a sweet loaf larger than a typical bread loaf, baked with flour, sugar, salt, and dried fruits such as raisins. And it's an Irish tradition that still stands around Samhain. The person baking the loaf would be sure to set the intention for love, truth, and synergy whilst preparing. Inside the dough, a number of special objects are hidden and baked into the loaf. So this might be something that you could do this with any loaf, and you could probably find a recipe for this online. Maybe this is something Alex would like to try to do. It says it indicates a curiosity to know what is ahead, but it's important to balance that with the now. After all, we have the tools to change our future should we choose. The sweet synergy of Barmbrak, all the ingredients, including the objects, are more complete and powerful together than they are individually, and that should encourage you to seek your own sweet spot. So I also see that as joining with others. This time of year, a lot of people get together for the Halloween festivities. I mean, a lot of different levels. So I want to try this. I want to look up this recipe. I think it might be interesting. I got some Irish roots. I want to see what that bread is about.
That sounds great. Well, there's Valerie. Nice to see you. And Rossi. Great. So I tuned in, Alex, and right away my third eye lit up. And it was a little different than usual. What I heard was that, let's see, what did it say? You're going to be experiencing higher, subtler vibrations. Kind of seeing, they're just raising your vibration. So the sense I got is to pay attention to synchronicities and signs, however those might appear. They might, you might see a bird or something that's important to you, or numbers, or you might feel things. You might start feeling your chakras or other things lighting up. But they're kind of tuning you up a bit, so be ready for that. So the third eye was the first thing, and envision what you want, and then my throat chakra started kind of buzzing, and that to me means speak your truth, and putting the two of them together, this could be a good time for manifestation when you envision what you want and you speak it into truth. So maybe some journaling about your goals and the things that you'd like to see in your life in the next several months. And I pulled a couple cards for you and got from the tarot deck, the Three of Cups, which is, didn't you say something about being with,
Yeah.
celebrating with other
Yeah.
people? And
Yeah.
that's definitely, there's the pumpkins and everything down by their feet.
Yeah.
And they are definitely celebrating together. And then I got from the feathers deck, the peacock, that said inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for a rebirth. So that may be going kind of along with the third eye and throat chakra of being able to bring what you want into reality. So this sounds like a pretty positive reading, Alex, and I hope that works out.
What I heard when I saw that peacock card was that, how they use peacocks for like guard dog kind of thing, and they have this. I just listened to I played a clip of what a peacock sounds like yesterday, and
Oh
so what
my.
that tells me is like, they're really loud. That she's going to get a message loud and clear from some, not necessarily from a peacock, but when it comes through, there's going to be no denying that that is a message for her.
Yes, their song is they're not as pretty. They don't sound as pretty as they look, do they?
Oh no, no. And you've heard them before in movies and stuff. You just didn't. You might have thought it was a monkey or something. You didn't know what it was, but
Yeah. So let's go next to Joyful Journey. And thank you everybody for putting questions in all caps. You might have heard I need cataract surgery, so it's especially challenging to see. Will I get a job offer soon? Let me tune in this way first. Okay.
looking for the wrong thing. Oops! If you look up the right card.
Okay. Will Joyful Journey get a job offer in October? Will this be a job that will have a positive outcome for her? Are there other opportunities that are better that are coming her way? If she gets an offer, should she jump at it? Should she accept it? Will the wage or salary be as good or better than what she has now? Yes. Oh, I'm not. These are all yeses, by the way. I didn't explain. And will there be other benefits? This is a little bit of a bigger yes than about the wage. So is the package that she is going to be offered one that will be agreeable to her? Yes. That's what I got. And let's draw a card. Let's try the Archangel deck.
Those are some pretty strong yeses.
Yeah, and I got Archangel Sandalphon, who says center and ground. So, this is really exciting, and everything. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get the job. But keep centered, keep grounded. Proceed as if you don't know that that's going to happen, but in your mind, know that that's going to happen, and keep. It's like you want to pin your energy on it. You don't want to pin your heart on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, keep doing what you do, whatever you do when you need, when you're looking for a job, but keep your energy focused on the qualities that you want to manifest rather than the specific job. And then the right one, whether it's this one or another one, is going to come your way. I hope that makes sense and is helpful to you. Juno, what do you get?
And I'm just looking, and I'm not saying this to be a nitpicky to people. I'm working on looking at language, using conscious language. And one of the words that I'm working on not saying or using is get or got. And if I could make a suggestion, maybe if you put, not to us, but like if you write these things down, or you put these things out, Joyful Journey, say, will I receive a job offer soon? That's so much more powerful. And, get and got just is, it's not about whether it's proper English. I don't mean it from that way. I'm just saying use it as an empowering, a way to use your words the most powerfully way you can to draw what you want to you. And so for Joyful Journey, I pulled Night Song, and it says hidden talents. So this could be, I say that this could maybe be you might get a night job, or maybe that is, maybe you're more of a night person. And also Night Song, I think of somebody who plays the piano and sings, at a lounge at night, that kind of work. I don't know if that's anything that is in your path, but it says a bird singing at night is an unusual occurrence, and those birds who are known as singers of the darkness are almost always considered sacred or frightening. From the operatic nightingale through to the hooting owl, hearing a bird that you cannot see weaving its magic through the night sky has captivated humans for millennia. Should this beautiful but shy bird sing to you by appearing during your divination, know that you must unwrap the present of yourself. Look, some of the gifts within you remain unopened. The time has come to step into your true potential and claim all possibilities for yourself. There is no more time to waste, no more excuses. So that tells me, this is this brilliant red cardinal, it's really showing off, even though this is a nighttime card, it's got bright red in there with passion. And, put your desires out there passionately and find a job. You've got these hidden talents. Bring those to the surface and dare to dream that you will find a job that utilizes those talents in a way that is a win-win, for you and for your employer, or however that works out for you. But I see it as a positive, get out there and shine. And again, the singing, I'm hearing use your voice, your throat, and that doesn't necessarily mean singing, but speak up for yourself and be aware of the power of your words. And good luck with receiving a job offer soon. That's just, maybe I'd love for you to receive many offers, and then you have your choice of the one you want the most.
Yeah. The cardinal too is of at least the birds that are around here, it has the best eyesight in low light. So they are the first ones that you hear singing before dawn, and the last ones you hear at night. So maybe it has something to do about shift work, or maybe you're going to get an early shift or a late shift or something like that.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that. You're so wise about the birds, Joan.
Well, I know the ones that are around here, but that I just thought I'd add that too.
We have those here too. They're so colorful.
Aren't they great?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, and here's Purette and Salraz and Miss Charlotte. I have your question.
And I still have my GoFundMe going, and I'm still, offering readings for donation, whatever you guys, not high price, whatever you guys can afford. And I'm happy to do a reading for you. It gives me practice and helps me get up to speed. So.
Yeah, and there's Starfish. Thank you. And Miss Charlotte, thank you everybody for coming.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I still can't see the chat yet, but
Oh
I'm letting
dear.
my back
Okay.
rest before I move my computer is why I don't have everything totally set up, but we're getting there.
A little bit at a time. Here's Morella Ricci. I'll love a message from my husband, Rhino. Reno or Rhino? Please and thank you. Either way, we will see if we can bring him in. And I'm assuming he's on the other side.
I just had the vision of that. You remember the old type switchboard where they would plug in the cords?
I actually worked on one of those ones.
Did you really?
Yes, just like Ernestine the operator. Okay. Well, I'll tell stories about that later. Now we're going to plug into Morella's husband.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
Okay, now I'm envisioning that. Right away, I heard, tell her I love her and I'm there for her. And then I got the image of something puffy, sort of like, at first it looked like scoops of ice cream and then more like a cloud, a puffy cumulus cloud. So Ryan, tell me what this means. Go softly. I think he's trying to say that when you lose someone, it can be this is rough. So he's trying to be there to cushion the heartache, to give you some sweet memories like the ice cream, and remind you, like when you're thinking about other things, a thought will come of a happy time you had together. And now I'm seeing the ice cream cone with a sugar cone on it, not just the cake cone, just to make life a little sweeter, just a little something to help you through those hard times. Anything else? And the clouds and everything to kind of soften the difficulty of grief. And it doesn't, it takes different forms, but it's always kind of there. Anything else? Okay. Is there a dog in your life that either you had together? I'm not sure if it's on this side or that side. It looked like it's sort of a reddish blonde, kind of a strawberry blonde if it was a human. And it looks like a small version of like a golden retriever or something like that, or a small version of I forget, it like that Irish setters that are kind of red looking. Anyhow, if that dog looks familiar, it's a smaller dog and it's on the leash, but it's broken away from the leash and it's running toward you. Okay, so it's running to the left. So this might be a dog you had in the past. Or a family pet or something like that. Big floppy ears. Anything else right now? I see it's like he's setting the table. There's the napkin and where the silverware should go. Anticipation. I'm giving the word anticipation. Maybe you are anticipating having family together over the holidays or Thanksgiving, or just getting together to go pick apples or carve pumpkins or something. But yeah, and he's got it set so that all three, fork, spoon, and knife are all on the napkin, like close together. So he's giving him the idea that when you're there together with family or other friends or however, the people that you love that would come together on special occasions, that he's certainly there too. And the fact that those utensils are close together means that he's close to you and encouraging you to stay close to those people that have shared memories with you, as well as making new memories on your own, but he's encouraging you to do that. Oh, we had Thanksgiving last weekend in Canada. Okay, good. So that makes sense. Wonderful. And missed him. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if this is your first, well, the first time around, the first year and the first holidays without a spouse are difficult. So I'm glad that you were with loved ones for those days. Anyhow, he is sending you love and trying to cushion the blow as much as he can. How about you, Juno? What did you get from Morella?
Well, and keep in mind, I'm using the Halloween deck, so
Okay.
but the messages are still good. And for her, I pulled Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Beautiful, looks like a maple leaf that's fallen off the tree. And it says, lightly I step, for the earth falls asleep, a lullaby to rest and pause, the soul's secret to keep. Death is frightening, and even though, or perhaps because, it is inescapable. However, as we move into winter, we know it signals a literal and metaphysical death. In some parts of the planet, the extreme weather means snow and ice buries all life, and the ground lies fallow and still. In winter, the earth slows down and there's less light and often more wet weather. Many plants die back, many animals are less active, and traditionally it was a leaner, more difficult time for those who worked on the land for their living. Winter often brought with it the end of a life cycle, a figurative or literal death. Should the winter card appear to you, it's time to let go what no longer serves you and let it die away. Where it seems natural and right to let things that have been bothering you for some time die back, take real action and change those things. Anything that is superfluous, extra, and burdensome, release it. And from the people I've heard, we've got that upcoming eclipse on Saturday, that's a big message in this eclipse coming up. And I want to also say I'm sorry for your loss. It's always tough, especially it just doesn't get easier, as we get older. But just know that it's time. It's kind of like time to cocoon maybe for the winter, and give time to yourself, do self-care, and allow yourself part of the grieving process. And something that can help with Jinshin Jitsu along those lines for self-help with grieving is just to simply hold your ring finger. And if you put your thumb down into the palm while you're grasping your ring finger on the left-hand side, it's especially powerful to make that connection. And that can help you harmonize those feelings of sadness and grief. And this is for anyone out there. This isn't just for Morella. This can help everyone. And it's something that we can also do to send remotely to people in other parts of the world that are going through this. But we're entering into that time of year, and I actually kind of look forward to it. When I mean, it's sad to see the things, dying back and the leaves coming off the trees, but it's like I kind of know, okay, I can hunker down for a little bit. I can cocoon for a little bit. It's going to get dark earlier. I can take it a little easier, not push so hard. So I would say that's his message for you is, just go with the flow. And if you're feeling sad, it's okay. And know that it will pass. And you'll be feeling better, and you'll have friends and loved ones to be around soon.
Yeah, and what you were saying about letting things go that are unnecessary is so true at a time like this. It's been over a year since my husband died, but those last year at Thanksgiving is like, I'm not cooking.
Yeah, right.
Especially for my family, there's like everybody has a different diet. It's like being a short order cook. The kidney diet, the diabetic, the vegan, all of my food allergies. It's like I can't do it. I'll make a bunch of desserts, and so we ordered out, and I got the food. I put it in the refrigerator, and we just heated it up, and we had a wonderful time. And it was great because my sister, her daughter died the day after Thanksgiving, so it was like one of those times. And you just have to, it's so hard when you think about, this poor woman, it's your first Thanksgiving without your husband. And you think about the gap is so huge. So
Right.
just even changing it up a little bit about what you eat, or maybe you can plan this for other holiday festivities. I know after my dad died, we looked around, everybody else looked around and said, "Do you really like turkey?" And everyone said, "No, he was the one who liked turkey." So that was our change. It was like, okay, he's not going to be here. We're going to change. We're not going to have
Start a new
turkey. And
tradition.
yes, and so one year we had enchiladas, and one year we had lasagna, and
Yeah.
we still missed him, but somehow making a change to say, "Yep, we loved you. We're praying for you." Well, I set a place for my husband last year. There was an empty
No,
place, and
nice.
for all the people who were gone, but we're moving on, and even just a subtle change like that can be like, okay, we're we're going forward with
And
respect to
sometimes
all.
we need to be reminded that we have permission to let something go. Some people hang on to a certain memory or a thought because out of fear, or they think they'll be disrespectful if they let it go. It's okay to let it go. It's okay.
And it's just so beautiful to have a community like this of people who understand. And
Yes,
anyhow, we're all behind you and sending you our love and prayers, Mirella.
definitely.
That's a rough road. Okay. Thank you for the question.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Karen Doyle. Any messages from her angels? Ooh, right away I'm hearing this like very etheric music that I listen to in meditation. So and that is something that just really immediately I hear the first three tones of it and it ups my vibe. So they are perhaps suggesting through that look into meditative music, or whether it's whatever type of music it is, that really speaks to you, um, and can be just sort of like, for me it's like Pavlov's dog. When I hear that music, I'm right there. I'm tuned in. Um, and maybe find something like that can be an aid to meditation or connection for you. Anything else for uh, for Karen Doyle? Well, they keep showing me a triangle and then a harp. Anything else about the music and the tones? Harmonic tones, they're saying. And they're going on about the music. It doesn't have to be a song. It's frequency, because it was a little harp, a high, so it would be a high frequency, not the big floor harps. Um, and they're correcting me. It doesn't have to be a high tone, but high frequency vibration. So maybe look into solfeggio tones, or some places can, um, they'll denote which, you know, the megahertz that the song is at. And some of the higher ones, they call them the miracle frequency. I'm going to draw an angel card for you. And got the Archangel of Virtue, who said, open your heart. So maybe some of these frequencies are something that will really open your heart. And now I'm also hearing a reminder about how crystals have an inherent frequency to them. And like, that's why so many people hang on to quartz crystals. Well, it's not quartz, that's selenite, but just plain old quartz crystals. Clear quartz has a very high frequency. So, okay, so here's Karen, who said, yes, I was about to meditate with some 528 frequency. And then and then saw your life pop up. That's what I meditate
Wow.
to too.
I love that.
That's, yeah. Uh, Needed today to reground after a weird visit with a cousin. Oh, that is a great, great way to do that. Yes. And it just, especially if you kind of make a practice of it, you hear those first few notes and then
Mm-hmm.
boom, you're right in the flow and it just kind of washes everything away. I hope that was helpful. So, Juno, what do you have for Karen?
That was amazing. If I throw in a little Jin Shin Jitsu to help is give yourself the big hug. So you're going to cross your hands, and put your palms under your armpits and your thumbs towards the center of your chest, and you inhale and exhale 36 breaths. This is really, really powerful for getting recentered and grounded, and it harmonizes like everything that's running through the whole body. So back to the cards, I pulled the Skull of Light, and it says Illumination. And in this deck, there's 4 different skull cards, and one is the Skull of Darkness, Skull of Flowers, Skull of Light, and Skull of Stars. So it says we can stay in the dark, exist only in the midnight hours, but shining the torch, the victory is ours. As the famous psychotherapist Jung suggested, knowing our own darkness helps us cope with the darkness of others. Taking the time to know thyself and to seek understanding of our more destructive or shadow natures can lead to huge happiness and less anxiety. The idea of being shown the way in the most difficult of times and always knowing that we are never alone in the darkness are the keys to this magical element. Light is usually a comforting thing, yet sometimes we do not really want to see the boogeyman under the bed. It's too scary, too big, and we know not how to defeat it. Yet by simply shining the torch upon such darkness, the victory is ours. Should the skull of light enter your life, know that it is time to open yourself fully to the clarity of brighter illumination. Allow yourself to be seen, to see and act upon what is shown to you. The time is past for hiding, for pretending, and for swallowing our discomfort by accepting the status quo when it really doesn't suit us. And I don't know, but I have a feeling that that might be part of what's going on with that relationship. I can relate to a situation in my own life. And, um, when other people I'll just summarize it, caterpillar people don't understand butterfly language. As much as you might love and want to work something out with somebody or whatever, and you can't, especially now, I think there's a greater divide that's happening, kind of like, as much as we want them to see the illumination and that that's not their path, they're going to come along in their own time. So you follow the light and stay in the light, and you're going to be okay. And but be true to yourself. Don't back down and come out from hiding. That's the second time that message has come up in these few readings we've done in the cards, is to not be hiding anymore. Says the girl who isn't on camera and only wears her gloves. I get the irony, everybody. I've been spanked.
Karen says, ooh, yes. And Marilla said, yeah, love that, Juno. That was very nice. And Miss Charlotte said, so Juno, what is it that attracts you to bones?
It's interesting. Joan and I were talking about this before we started. Well, when I was a little kid, I was really skinny, and my nickname was Bone. But I don't know that that's influenced it or not. If it was subconscious. But with Jin Shin Jitsu, and the reason why I got these gloves originally was because we get in there and we work like the different parts of the fingers or whatever. Like I have full skeletons, and if I teach self-help classes, a lot of times it's helpful to show wear on the body. So I'm coming at it from that angle. But I also, they're so graphic, and we all have a skeleton, and it's our structure. Otherwise we'd be this just pile of goo, and I'd rather not be a pile of goo in this lifetime. I don't think I would function very well in this 3D world. So and you just think of how many millennia some bones last under the right conditions. They're really kind of fascinating. So it's not out of a creepy, worshipy kind of thing. It's just a fascination with how the human body is put together, and being able to demonstrate that in a very clear way and it also, it's my barrier right now till I get over my phobia and get my camera set up and everything. But
And aren't they a symbol of strength as well?
Yeah, what's really interesting is with this deck, let me see if I can find the card real quick. and it has when I do something called 100 Years of Tarot, and this is something like if anybody would like this kind of reading, we can, you can email me at JunoSees@gmail, and we can work it out. But I can look at your life over 100 years, and there will be these 9-year stretches that will repeat. And for me, I got the death card 11 times in 100 years, which is the most of anybody I've seen. But it's just that I'm going through a lot of transformation. But and so the way you find out what your original card is you do the numerology of your birth date. And when I did the numerology of my birth date, it was the number 8, which in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, depending on which way you interpret it, is the strength card. And then when I got this deck, and here's the skeleton, and the word is strength. So
I love that, because that's not, the first thing you think about with skeletons is Halloween and spooky and all of that. But it's very true.
It's our structure, it's our architecture, and it's also articulated. I mean, it does so much for us. It protects us. You think of all the precious organs that are protected by the rib cage, those vital organs. It's really a fascinating thing to study the skeleton. So
cool.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you very much, Karen Doyle, and thank you for the question about bones. All right, let's see. Next is Valerie S., who would love a mini reading today.
Of course.
Let's see what we can bring through.
Are you guys liking these Halloween oracle cards? I think they're kind of fun. They're different.
Right away, when I tuned into you, Valerie, I saw it looked like a tornado, but that doesn't mean you're going to, but the word vortex came to mind. If you stir water around, it makes a vortex. But that's my symbol for a vortex, which means two things to me. If you've ever read or heard Abraham Hicks talking about manifestation, in the book Ask and It Is Given, she and her husband, who co-wrote it with her, said, yeah, as soon as you ask, it's given. It's in your vortex, in your auric field somehow. And then what we need to do is align ourselves with that place where it is so that we're able to receive it. So I'm thinking that they're giving me this idea of the vortex, that it might be a time of change and things might be kind of upended for a while, but it's also a time of manifestation, of maybe the end of one period and the start of something new. But right now it's time to envision what you want, put it in your vortex, and then work on upping your vibe so it's matching the high frequency of the thing that you are looking for. And let's see what the cards have to say for you, Valerie. Yeah, this is another one. It's the magpie. Reevaluate your priorities. It's time to let go of what you no longer need. There it is. And
it's an unusual feather with that big white spot in the middle. I never seen it. I have that deck and I've never looked at that before. That's cool.
Oh, my word. And here's just kind of a punctuation point on what I was saying. Archangel Azrael saying endings and beginnings. And that doesn't mean, somebody's going to die, but it might mean the end of, a job or a friendship, or just maybe even one way of approaching a problem. And it's time for some new energy to come in. So I hope that makes some sense for you and is helpful. Juno, what wisdom do you have to impart?
I don't. This keeps popping in my head right at the end with what you said. I said you might get a new parking spot. I don't know what that means, but I'm saying sometimes they come through. So I pulled invisibility, and it says at the bottom authenticity. So let's see what the book has to say. It says, heart beating we sense, but we do not see. They touch, we chill, they come unseen. You know that feeling you sometimes have that someone is watching you? You cannot see them, yet you have the distinct feeling that someone is there. All the hairs are up on the back of your neck. You think you see something in the corner of your eye, but when you turn, there is nothing to be seen but empty air. This is the power of invisibility, the indirect fear and the covert threat of having to fight something that we cannot see. Humans have a strong visual sense, so it is no wonder that we are uneasy about things we cannot see. The ancients believed that all manner of creatures, mythical and physical, and of course the deities, would make themselves invisible at will. When we consider that some animals, I got the chills, I'm sorry, I take a breath. When we consider that some animals are camouflaged so well by their coats or behavior that sometimes, even if we were looking straight at them, they are hard to see within their environment, that invisibility isn't such a far fetched concept. In many cultures, the idea of beings who could watch us undetected were, and still are, common. Jinns, angels, nature spirits, the fae, and even practitioners of magic, such as witches, are said to have the power to appear and disappear at will. Later in literature and then in movies, invisibility becomes a common power, and now we have fictional superheroes that are invisible and even cloaks of invisibility. The concept of invisibility is a double edged sword. Whilst it is a powerful tool to be able to gain information to assist whilst no one sees, individuals using it are privy to information that may not be meant for them, and it may be taken out of context or unethically. It is a power of manipulation and easily abused. The idea of hiding away and not being seen is also a big part of the dark side of this concept. We are all born to shine our light out in the world and to take our roles. Hiding our talents, not expressing our true selves, stealing others' ideas or work, and being someone else rather than your authentic self are all aspects to consider should this card appear in your reading. So, only Valerie knows how that pertains to her, but I've done this. I was at the Tucson Gem Show. This was, I don't know, 20 years ago maybe. And before I moved down here, but I would come down and go to the show and shop. And I saw someone approaching that I knew from where I came from, and I didn't want to interact with them. And I mentally said, I'm invisible. I'm just invisible. I had to walk past her. I couldn't. We all but touched shoulders. She didn't see me. It was like I was invisible to her. So there are ways that you can do that when need be, but then again, like it says, be cautious. It's a powerful thing, and with power comes great responsibility in how you use it, to use that sense responsibly and with integrity. So I just think it's interesting. We had those two cards that were about coming out of hiding, and now we have this invisibility cloak. So I think it's about using discretion too. Sometimes it's time to show yourself, and other times, it's like I don't want to advertise to the people around here where I live what I do because it would not be looked at well upon.
Yeah.
So, you have to use discretion.
That's wonderful. And thank you, Valerie, for all the feedback, the positive feedback. And she mentioned it doesn't look like the eclipse coming. I love that it resonates.
Yeah.
And it's a little scary, maybe. And she said that everyone's watching me. That happened to me today. I thought it was my brother Yuri in spirit. And
I got such a chill. I'm sorry. This is twice now. It's like it takes my breath away, this chill. Ooh.
When I read this while you were reading, I thought, okay, let's see what that's all about. And my crown chakra lit up. And that's another thing that's like a vortex, it's kind of the funnel that goes up from your crown chakra too. So
I got real emotional. I got tears in my eyes over this. It's him. It's his energy. He's just so full of love. It's not sadness. It's profound love for you. So.
Yeah, I think you've got it. Your interpretation is the one that counts. So cool. Thank you, Miss Charlotte and Pisces Greeter for being here. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's see what we can get for our next. Oh, and here's Miss Charlotte. I have a job, but would like a change that will pay the same or better. I'm sure the universe knows about it as I have asked. Is this a possibility in 2024? I'm going to tune in first and see. Well, I think this qualifies as one of my odder visions, which so I was asking about what can you tell me about your job prospects in 2024? And I saw two huskies pulling someone who looks like an Inuit, all dressed up in, you know, like an Eskimo or something, as the musher. So there's energy that's pulling you in one direction, but you've got the reins. You're in control. You don't have to do all the work. You just need to kind of steer it. And you've got these are your dogs. They know you. They love you. They'll respond to you and steer you where they want to go. And you know what? They love to run. They love the snow and they love to run. They love to pull, pull, pull. So it's up to you to be the kind yet firm musher, to let them know clearly with the signals you've trained them to that no, we're going to go to the right here, we're going to left here, you're going to have to slow down here. And so they're just kind of saying that you've got the power, you've got the power to do this, but you're in charge and need to give it direction. So let's see if we can be a little more specific here. Can I ask this question about Miss Charlotte? Is she going to get a change in her employment situation that will pay the same? Will she get a change that will pay more? Yes. Will she get this in 2024? It's swinging very hard. Yes. Will that be in first quarter? Maybe. Yes. Will it be in January? It's pretty sure about January. Yes. Okay. Will she have to put in a lot of effort to make this happen? Will she need to let it be known? Yeah, before I got it out, it's like, yes, you're going to have to let it be known that you want to make this change, that you're interested in it, and however you want to frame that. If it's within your current job, saying, you know, I love what I'm doing here, but look, I'm doing 3 people's work, and I think I deserve more. However, you know, I'm not a job coach. Please don't quote me on that. But that way of doing something. There's something about you taking control of this that's going to be the, you know, the key that to just make it happen. How about you, Juno?
I like how she said this or something better. That's an excellent way to ask for it when you're
Yes.
looking at the change. And I don't know if this card has anything to do with it. You got the mummy and the word is change. So, I mean, come on now. Let's see. Let's see what the mummy has to say. It says, the sand in his mouth, the bandages wound, jealous of the living, eternal life bound. The ancient Egyptians took death very seriously. Death was seen, not Death was seen, not seen. Somebody wrote this wrong. Death was not seen as many of us see it, a finality to be dreaded, but as just the beginning of a new life and often eternal life in a better place, the afterlife. The practice of honoring and preserving the body through a complex process of mummification was central to ancient Egyptian culture. This was not just a physical embalming process, but a carefully enacted ritual process that ensured preservation in the next world. Many other cultures also mummified their dead, including the Incas, the Argentinians, the Maori, and many of the cultures of the Torres Strait Islands. In our modern horror genres, the mummy has become an icon. From early horror writing at the turn of the century to the very popular films The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, the plot normally revolves around the mummy returning to life and cursing and hunting down the living. The discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb and other long-hidden Egyptian treasures in the 1920s in particular sparked an explosion in mummy-related films and literature. Should you pull the moaning mummy card from the deck? Funny, I didn't hear it say anything. The moaning mummy card from the deck, know that change is inevitable and that no matter how hard you try, things will not be preserved exactly the same way. The card also indicates that this change will be for the better. The endings, the closed doors, the barriers, this is just a healthy pause and an indication that a change of tactics is needed, just like Joan said. You are not cursed, you have just developed a pattern. You can take control and change it. So I think that goes right along with what you were saying.
Exactly.
And it's it's important to put out to spirit or the universe, however you want to word it. Put your intention out there and don't say, I don't want a job like X, Y, Z. Don't say the don't things, only say the things you do want. But also, you have to do your own due diligence to bring that to yourself, whether it's, spreading the word or however you can advertise what you do or all that kind of thing. Work at it from all angles. But this, and I also see with this mummy, and look at the beautiful necklace and everything, that once that change is made, you're going to take those, unwrap all those bandages. It's going to be a new, fresh you.
That was my first thought when I saw that. It's like she's feeling stifled. She needs to get
Yeah.
to feel refreshed and renewed and kind of get a new life.
And you've got the
As far
moon
as
energy from behind, so
yeah, yeah,
go upon that.
things are getting a little old there.
And
So
I'm sorry, I just wanted, when I said the moon
go.
thing, it jumped in that about really important for you to do your moon rituals, the full moon and new moon rituals, to follow along with that pattern and adapt it to what you're wanting to do with the change of job or whatever you want to do. But this is a potent time for you to get involved, actively do that practice.
We wish you the very, very best.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Charlotte says, yes, I need a change. I just don't want to get better. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much, Miss Charlotte. And next we have MCB00. May I get a message from my guides about how to get through an extremely hard time? Oh, I am so sorry that you're going through an extremely hard time. And you're very wise to be asking your guides for help on this. And let's see what we can bring through. When I first tuned in, and kind of seen this young woman with long, dark blonde hair, and she has a ring of flowers, a crown of flowers around her head. And when I kind of pull back, I see that she's dressed in like, oh, it's the train coming through, right?
Yeah, the
She's
love train.
dressed in green velvet gowns. And when I pull back further, oh, it looks like she's at a Renaissance festival. So I thought, this is funny. It's, October. We've been thinking about pumpkins and Thanksgiving and all of this to see the spring flowers. But this makes sense that it is, even in difficult times, it can be, it's like going from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance, to a renewal, to doing things. It's like after a while, this is the crux, the turning point, the that difficult transition between one period and another. And I feel like that we are in that politically throughout the world, and many of us are experiencing that in our own lives, and it sounds like you are too. But know that this difficult time, it's it's going to be it's going to be your renaissance. It's getting through the hard times because there's something new and fun and beautiful ahead. New learning, new ideas, new, like everything that the Renaissance brought. Um, and so I think that what they're saying is to get through hard times is to keep hope alive for better times ahead. But yeah, people had to kind of slog through the um, the Middle Ages, but there was always the promise of the future ahead, and there's hope on the horizon for you, and keep that as kind of your North Star. And I pulled an archangel card for you and got Archangel Ariel, who said connect with nature. And through hard times, sometimes, maybe if you can't get out and take a hike or a walk in the woods or something like that, just to look out the window at a tree or at anything, or go sometimes I would go to the local zoo where they had a, that's sort of the conservatory with plants and things in it in the middle of a winter when it's 30 below, just somewhere where there's something growing and alive and beautiful, and that can lift your spirits too. We're all wishing you well for going through whatever this is, and I feel like this, what I'm getting, isn't adequate to the purpose, but I'm going to draw one more card. Let's try this one. Yeah, I got the same thing in a different way. This is the robin. New growth potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. So it's like you're almost there. You're almost there to this new flowering, this new spring of your lifetime. But it's like you're having to dig through the snows of winter first. Hang in there. And our love and best wishes go with you. How about you, Juno? What did you get?
Beautiful reading, definitely. And, you've got our support. So just to throw in a little Jin Shinjitsu that can be really helpful. All of us, I think, that are in this community know what it's like to go through an extremely hard time. And when you're in the moment, just getting by second to second sometimes is all you can handle. Just cross your hands and rest your palms across your chest, just below your collarbone. And it's really comforting. You can experiment with putting one hand over, which hand is dominant on top, even though your hands aren't resting on top of each other. But just kind of play around with that and see what feels, that's a really good way to feel comforted. And it's interesting because in your reading, Joan, you mentioned pumpkins, and I pulled the jack-o'-lantern. And the message of the jack-o'-lantern is protection. And it says, oh, Jack, let me carve my protection. Shine your fire outwards, evil, rejection, and reflection. Halloween wouldn't be the same without the carving of pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns, glowing menacingly from porches, dinner tables, and then it says porches everywhere. I need to read this book because they didn't edit it very well. Sorry. Jacks actually have a rich history and a spiritual beat. The original term for a jack-o'-lantern was a will-o'-the-wisp, an old British term. The will-o'-the-wisp was a small bundle of sticks used as a flame or torch. The Celts, the Irish, and those living in the Scottish Highlands all carved winter vegetables, not just pumpkins, but also parsnips, carrots, or beets. The time around Samhain was, of course, Halloween, for those who don't know, was, of course, when the fae and goblins were said to be roaming wild, and so the lanterns were intended to be both scary, scaring off the undesirable, and to light the way in the dark. Today, carving pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns has become an art in itself and a true icon of Halloween. Intricate designs, both scary and funny, can be found in almost every home that celebrates the holiday. Both electric light and candles now illuminate the inside of the lanterns. Know that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and that the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones that you have or to establish new ones. So, and with the jack-o'-lantern, that's shining your light out from the inside. And a little tip I learned on another subject here, if you're carving a jack-o'-lantern, if you carve it from the top where the handle is, a lot of times it ends up falling in. If you instead carve out a hole in the bottom, and that's where you put your candle, then you don't have to carve the top and you don't lose the top of it.
That makes sense.
And I did last year, I did a whole bunch of Halloween videos, and there's at least one or two long ones that are about jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins. If you guys want to learn some more about that, it's kind of some fun stuff. But
yeah, so there's messages about protection and guidance there for MCB 00.
And think about how thick the skin is, how thick a pumpkin is. Once you take out the guts, it's got that thick layer of protection that's kind of padded. You know what I mean? It's kind of spongy. So you are protected.
That sounds good. We wish you just the very best. And I'm sorry you're going through this hard time. We have two more. We're kind of at the hour, but let's finish up our last two questions. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but Taylin P. I'm sorry, I didn't divide it up right. Let's see. Will the man I'm about to meet appear before 2023 ends? I was hoping to share the holidays as we get to know each other. Oh, I love that you're already planning these things. I'm just going to go with the pendulum, if I could find it. It was right here. Well, these things happen. I guess I'm supposed to tune in on this one rather than use the pendulum. Okay. That's just, there aren't that many places I could put it. All right. I'm seeing the Christmas tree coming down and being hauled outside. Okay, so is this man going to appear? Yeah, I'm getting the idea that New Year's Eve. There might be fireworks on New Year's Eve. I'm getting it might be between that area. Another playing the 12 Days of Christmas. So it might be more like between Christmas and New Year's, more toward the first part of the year. But it's like that period where, you take the trees up for a little while after Christmas, but then you take it down either at or just around New Year's. So that's yeah, and I'm seeing little kids with mittens still going like this. It's still cold. It's still the holiday season. They're outside and there's skaters in the background. So maybe you'll be going to like winter festivals together rather than sitting around on Christmas together in front of the tree for Christmas Eve and Christmas proper. But I feel like it's coming over that season. And then I see you getting a Valentine card too. So by Valentine's Day, definitely. How about you, Juno? What do you get?
Well, when you first read the question, right away what popped in my, I saw a vision of him wrapped up under the tree. It's like a gift under the tree. So maybe you're going to meet him right before or right after Christmas. In other words, you're not going to have that, that season a couple weeks before when it's all Christmas, everything's Christmas. But I think, like Joan said, it might be coming at Christmas or a little bit later. And the card I pulled was the mummy again, and it was about change. And then I see the mummy's wrapped up, just like I saw this vision before I turned this card over. So I don't know. There might be some interesting ways for that to play out. And it says I'm not going to read the whole thing again because we just read it, but it says
right.
There's a healthy pause and an indication of change of tactics are needed. So there might be something you want to look into changing yourself up so that you are attracting the person, not just somebody that comes in time for the holidays, but it be the right person. And if that means you have to wait till a little bit after the holidays or into Valentine's Day, it's worth the wait. And when we make changes like that are that profound in ourselves, it's not necessarily like flipping a switch. It might take us a little while for that change to be integrated into our system, and then the universe hears our message and brings us what's in our best and highest good. So we wish you good luck with that. You have to let us know.
And I found my pendulum. So let's ask the pendulum. Will Taylin P have this? Will this man be there by Christmas Eve? No. By Christmas Day? Maybe. By January 1st? Yes.
Interesting.
Will they? Yeah. So between Christmas Day and January 1st, this person will be making an appearance.
And I just saw a vision of, like, especially if you got a family and kids and everything, and after everybody's opened all their gifts and stuff, and then somebody goes and throws out all the wrapping paper only to find that they threw out a diamond necklace or something. You know what I mean? There was something missed that they shouldn't have thrown out. So I've gotten that message. Don't discard somebody because you don't think they're the right one either. You know what I mean? I'm not saying jump at the first one, but yeah, Boxing Day. But look at you know, when you're letting go or discarding, or as they used to say, shucking oysters. If you're filtering through a lot of people or situations, make sure you really check it out and don't throw away something really good.
And Miss Charlotte said we'll have to get an extra big
There you
bow
go.
for the sand that's going to be wrapped up under the tree.
It's
Those
strategically
big, huge
placed.
ones they put on cars. I love your sense of humor. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for the question. You have to come back and report in, of course. We'll be wondering how that all goes. And our last question is from our dear Jess Ree. May I please have a message from my spirit guides as for what is ahead for me for the rest of the month, please? And thank you. Okay. October, remainder of October for Jess Ree.
Well, the love train's going by, so
Yeah, there we go.
we'll send you some love on it. I'll throw a bag of love on there, Jessery. So next time you're by a train, pick it up.
It's like you're opening yourself up. I get energy going through here, and I'm seeing you with your arms, except they're wider, but up like this. And it's about balance and openness. Okay, let's see if we can get this a little more specific for Jess. Your hands are up, but it's not like put them up like you're surprised or anything. It's a matter of being on top of things. Sort of like okay, now I'm seeing skaters and tightrope walkers. It's balance. It's about balance, just to kind of keep your balance and kind of keep the upper hand. There might be some things that you need to do, just like an athlete or an acrobat does, to maintain the position of where they want to be, whether they're spinning through space or on the ground or whatever. It's not going to just kind of walking through life will get you somewhere. But if you really want to make the most of the next couple of weeks, just be alert to, okay, so what is this balance really talking about, Spirit? What can we drill down on this for Jess? It's balance. It's balance of, okay, now they're showing me spinning plates on sticks. I get the idea of balance, but can you be more specific for Jess, please? You wouldn't believe all the weird images I'm getting. They're like, they don't think I understand it. There's a ballerina with two, sticks and plates spinning on them on one toe. I hope this means something to you, Jess. Which areas of her life need to be balanced? Heart and head. Thank you. At least I got that. There are things that you want, and there's things that you are thinking about. There's somehow there. Those are the two aspects that they're trying to ask you to get in balance. And I'm sorry that I had to yell at them. Okay. But I think that is, and let me draw a card from the archangels. And I'm getting Archangel Raziel, who says, learn, change, and grow. But look at him. He's standing on one leg. He's doing the balance thing too. And he's balancing, actually, it's levitating the world over his hand. So there's this, somehow this trick of balance is involved in the next couple of weeks. And you will learn, change, and grow through it. But I hope that makes sense and can be of some use to you in the next couple of weeks. Juno, how about you?
That was very cool reading, Joan. For Jess, I pulled Eternal Love, and it says, love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So this may be somebody coming through that who's passed over. It says, when the body leaves us and our souls are above, our possessions no longer, nothing remains but the intertwining of love. All of us are the product of millennia of love. Our parents, 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 our ancestors by blood and ritual all have in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some ways, that feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or being. But the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about, that is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring of a partner, it also indicates that a significant love is close at hand and to be ready to open up to this new experience. And that new love can be a new puppy or kitten. If you're not in the market for a mate, there's a lot of ways. Someone just to like I have found so many loving partners through this YouTube, and the things that we do, that all the friends that we've made, and we continue to get together privately offline, and they're out there. It's a wonderful web that we've created. So I just saw like all these skeletons in a big circle, just repeat that over and over again, that it's all of us joining our energies right down to our core, because it's our skeletal selves. It's what gives us structure and strength. And I think going into, this is the time of year when we really start thinking maybe a lot more about family, with the holidays coming up and gatherings, and what are we gonna, a lot of people create their own gifts or bake or whatever, and focus on the love part of it. Don't get caught up in what's going on in the 3D so much. This looks like doesn't that look like almost like a big lion's face or something?
That's what I'm seeing there too. It's beautiful.
Really interesting. So,
And it just when you were talking about the bag of love on the train, she said she
there
has
you go.
train tracks that run a short distance behind her house.
And don't forget to
Yeah.
throw a bag of love on to send it back here, Jess. What goes around comes
And
around.
okay, yeah. And she said her dad and grandma both had their death
Oh,
anniversary recently, and his
oh boy.
dad's birthday is October 18th. So that had something to do with it too. And Miss Charlotte said about, reminded us about brain heart
Yep,
coherence. Look up Heart
yep,
Math Institute or Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza, who are all
yep.
wonderful,
Heart
wonderful
math is how
people.
I got started with this. When I finally got diagnosed at 40 with fibromyalgia, and the pain management doctor got me involved with heart math. So that's a really excellent suggestion. All of those are excellent suggestions. I just,
Wonderful.
yeah.
This has been so much fun. I thank everybody who came and listened and participated. I just love getting together with Juno. So will you come back next month?
I don't know. I didn't want to tell you, Joan. No, let's pull a card. No, of course, anytime. And then I do it more often if you wanted to, also, if the opportunity comes up. But I just love our time together. I always feel so bonded to you, and you were the first hug I had in years when you came down here and visited me last year. And
I wish I were there this year, but we'll figure out a way again sometime. So
Well,
do
just,
you have any appearances coming up that you want to share?
I'm on with Sherry on Sunday. We do our every other Sunday. Sherry Voices from the Swamp at 2:30 Pacific time. And that's the only other live I've got scheduled right now. So also, if there's anybody out there, I'm happy to come on if you guys want to have me on. And I don't yet have the capability of doing it myself, but I really enjoy it. And I won't probably talk to you on live on anyway, but I hope you have a great Halloween coming up, and I hope you get lots of fun trick-or-treaters and get
Oh,
some.
yes, we will. And I just wanted to mention that tomorrow, is today Wednesday? Yes,
Yeah,
tomorrow I'll be on with Allie on Heart and Soul Connected, her channel at 4:30 for a meeting with the mediums. And then Friday, Thayer will be on my channel, 4:30 Central, kind of the same time slot. And then on Monday, Terry and Jean and I will be on Terry's channel. We do our Magic Monday thing together, answering questions. And I'm very excited that next Wednesday, Starfish Jenny and I are going to be doing our monthly past lives readings. So we'll
Nice.
see. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a busy time, and I hope that some of you, if you have time, can drop in and join me. But thank you again, everybody, moderators and people who asked and people who joined in the conversation. We just adore you and have a great, great day. And best to you, Juno. We'll see you again soon.
Sounds great. See you next month. Love you, Joan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.